It's Colin and Brittany. Let me see, Blakeney. I don't know what it is. See, Blakeney.
What you got? Okay.
She just looks over you.
I know. I don't get anything good.
Look what Lucy got you. Blakeney got you. Look, turn around. Look. She looks like Blakeney. Lydia, Blakeney, how about Blakeney? Say thank you. Let's say grandma's lap. Sit here and put the stroller. This is from Isabella, Lydia, Gabby, Tori, and Beth. Let's do initials on that. I'm not going to look at this if somebody else's voice. They're right. I'm fine. And then the baby over there. Yay! This is okay. You got your own.
You said so many.
Thank you. She saw it.
There's never too many.
She saw it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Am I not putting y'all together? Yeah. I am putting y'all together. All of them.
And on the way back, he said,
I put it on the car.
we all went in together.
That's good. Oh my gosh.
Well, you better,
Have you seen my
he doesn't like that.
Garrett, there's a bell number outside.
I'd love to get the original. Because it's not anything like
Ask him.
it's not like
Garrett, back there. Those are Keith's. Yeah, in like 7 years. But no, actually, all of her clothes that she makes, I save.
I would.
I am. I'm gonna make her
I
clothes.
wish I could save Mama's clothes. You know, Mama sewed for Tara when she was little. I wish I could save. Yo, I'm using some patterns on her that I used for her.
She didn't save them, but I am. But I'm gonna make a quilt out of them.
The other day she had an outfit on for Tara. She was wearing
With all the money and all of the Tara that she's made, I'm gonna make her a quilt.
When she gets older, it's not like
That's
she
fine.
can
I can't get it on
Everybody, thank you.
Tell your daddy to get it a knife and cut it.
Daddy, she wants a knife.
Oh, Mommy, you know what I did? I fell down over there. I fell down, Mom.
Okay, it's too cold for me.
On this. I fell down on there. I'm sorry. You're hurting?
I'm a little skinned up, but not that bad.
Hey, Blakeney.
Well, I think you can handle this, Jimmy. I don't know.
Yeah, thanks. I know. Blakeney, are you cold?
Blakeney, happy birthday. Here's a bridge.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
I like Finding Nemo. Do you? Get her! We're like those coast guys off the surface.
Brand new ways. I also invented something on the airplane down here.
Well, Jimmy, I gave you enough money.
All right, I appreciate it.
This is about this size from there.
That's a powerful stick. I'm versing like everybody. Everybody attacks me and then you're attacking each other. Except you. I'll kill anybody that gets in my path. Earthquake!
Hey, Gavin.
Have a boat. Boat don't matter. Nobody can do it now.
Yes. Be careful, baby. Oh.
Take your passy out, lady.
Blakeney Passy. Cheese. Cheese.
That's a pretty smile.
Okay.
Well, she got the cheese business going real good, don't she?
I guess. Right in front. Yeah. I knew there was something out there.
I know. Okay, well, thank you, Sean. Oh, let's see, I have a
Be careful. Watch out. Oh. Blakeney. Go to light 3. Do we want to include it or remove it? Let's take it out. Light 4. Kitchen. Include or remove. Let's include it. Right now it's removed. Hit select. Now it's included. So we can just scroll through all of our lights and do that to start with. And then when we're ready, we'll go back to light 1. Now you see that it's included and we have the ability to go next by going down. If we have it removed, we don't have that option because there's nothing else we're going to do with it since it's not part of the scene. But we're going to include it. So now we're going to hit the down arrow to go to the next step. What this says is we're working on light 1 and we're deciding what fade rate, what transition rate to give it. This is very similar to the dim rate and soft rate that we dealt with individual lights. And the rate is in seconds and we change it with the left and right arrows. So we can increase it and it's got the same numbers. We can go all the way up to 800 seconds. That's our maximum fade rate. So if you want something to transition very slowly, where you can't even see it happening, set it for a big fade rate, like one of these. But normally, you're going to do something down around, less than 10 seconds. But if you want a really smooth, slow transition, make a bigger fade rate. If you want something to happen quickly, make it smaller. So for this welcome home scene, we want the lights kind of come on relatively quickly, so we're going to make the fade rate 5 seconds. Now we've got the options to go next or previous, so we'll go next. Now we have to set what dim level the light is going to go to when we activate that scene. So for a welcome scene, we kind of want it to be bright. Well, we don't necessarily want it to be 100%, so we're going to set this up for 70%. So I just type in 70. Now my level is set to 70%. So when I activate this scene, light 1 is going to go to 70% at a transition rate of 5 seconds. Now we have another option to go next. Delay. Now delay is something you probably will rarely use. But what you can do is for every single light in a scene, I could give it a delay in seconds so that that one particular light would wait so many seconds before it actually did what you tell it to do in the scene. For example, if I had a goodbye scene, I might want to have the garage be delayed about 2 minutes, 120 seconds, so that it gives the homeowner time to get in the car, get out, drive away before that light turns off. So in this case, we're going to leave that at 0, and we're going to hit the down arrow to go next. Now we're back up to where we are selecting which light to work on. There's only 3 things you can tell each light to do. It's have a particular level, a transition rate, and a delay. So now we want to move over to the right to our dining light. And you can see it's just like we said it's included. And we have the option to go next, so that's what we do. Now it says we're working on light 2, and it wants the rate. And we're going to set it to the same thing as our garage. We're going to set it to 5. And then we go next, level. Let's set this one to 60. And then we'll go next, delay. And let's just, as an example, set this for 5 seconds. So now we have a delay of 5 seconds on that particular light. And then we hit next. Now we're back up and we select another light. What's up?
Are you recording?
So now we're ready to move on to the next light. So we just keep doing this over and over again until we have adjusted all the lights in that scene. And once we're finished, we hit the home key. That brings us up to where we can now go to advanced. We've already done the set lights. Of course, if we ever have to come back in here, this is where we would go to adjust the scene. Let's go take a look at advanced. So we'll hit the right arrow. Send message P1. What does that mean? Well, what this means is you have the option to send an ASCII message out of one or both of the serial ports on the MCP. So this is saying, do you want to do it? Do I want to send an ASCII message out? Well, let's say yes, we do, on P1. But you can't do that right now because our port 1 is set up as a programming port. So if it's set up as programming, you can't send a message out of it. So let's go down to next. P2, this one's available. So we'll go left for yes. Now it says we want to send a message out. So we're done with that. Let's go to next. What's a message? And you can just type it in. Now if you need special characters, you're going to have to hook up your PC to this to get that in there. If you've just got standard characters, you can do that right now. So like we could and it's just anything you could type in. So we've entered in our message, and this will be, every time that scene's activated, this is what will come out of the port. And that's all the advanced features we have for a scene. Now, if we want to go back up one level, we hit home. Now, this is where we can now scroll to a different scene. So if I hit up, I go to scene 7, and it's got its default settings, and then we could go in again, go to edit, and edit that scene. Now, let's talk about something else. Let's go back to scene 6. Welcome. We've got our lights set up in there. We've got their levels, their fade rates. We want to test it. We haven't assigned a button to it yet. So we want to test it without having to go through the process of assigning a button. That's where we would go to capture test. So we go hit the left arrow. Now, we could either capture levels or we could test. Right now, let's go test this scene. So we go right, and this says we're working on scene 6, and we can activate it or deactivate it. So we are going to activate it. We left click. We see our scene come up, hopefully. If the scene does not come up and